Now, if you find Blue Lips, which is still going, I saw something the other day about stage, and she sort of goes back to the radical days of the 70s, when they used to amuse me because they used to come in with sort of jeans and a frock over their jeans. And people say, oh, you're insulting drag queens. We're not drag queens, dear. And then they'd grow a moustache. And actually, a great friend of mine is also in Brighton, and part of this Brighton House story is him. And he was one of these that, how dare you call me a drag queen? I'm a gay man. And I want to be a gay man. And I want a man. I don't want puff and all that sort of stuff, you know. You get so much of that. It's in politics, I think. It's because I think everybody's now sort of divided up into their various little what's-its, and rather a pity that in the old days everybody sat together, and now in these progressive days everybody's split up, and you've got your gay black people, and you've got your gay Chinese people, and you've got your gay Jewish people, and your gay everything people, and none of them get together and do a general sort of gay thing. When we were at the Lesbian and Gay Centre in Cowcross Street, everybody stuck together. One night was Asian night, one night was something else night, and it just happened, and nobody trod on each other's toes. Everybody turned up at the same thing. There was even one dreadful night called Sadie Maisie. And Sadie Maisie, the initials were S&M. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, we won't go into details about that. But again, it all happened in the same place. And the people that went to the Jewish night or the Chinese night or the Caribbean night went to Sadie Maisie's as well if they were that way inclined. And they all mixed. But now, God forbid you should get a Jewish queen mixing with a black one. You know, it just, well, maybe it is done, I don't know. I've never been to XXL, but, you know. So there you go.
And what were you going to say?
But now Diamond was a wonderful play written by the lovely Linda Wilkinson. Yeah. It was her grandmother's memories of the East End during the war. Her grandmother knew this person called Diamond Lil, who was a raving drag queen, but quite a character. I didn't, believe it or not, I don't remember her. Don't go back that far. But it's got a little bit written here, Lil and Maisie. Much is what is known about them is shown in Diamonds. Lil had a range of menial jobs, pushing barrows, cleaning toilets, working in a pie and mash shop, and even as a French polisher, right until the 70s. What else? Bella was the author's grandmother, born in Hanbury Street off Brick Lane. She had a colourful life of the music hall boards. And yeah, well, as I say, I only know what I saw in this play, which was very, very good. And it was by Linda Wilkinson. And she's written 2 or 3 things, I think, about the East End. And there's this picture, which I believe she might have copyrighted, because it's her grandmother and Diamond Lil in Columbia Road E2. Right, I think you've had enough, don't you?
I was quite interested in you're telling us about the different venues.
Mm-hmm.
What can you remember of them? Like,
What, locally?
yeah, in the East End.
Well, the last really good mixed one was the Seabright Arms, because it was run by 2 gay people, and they used to have Dockyard Doris Old Time Music Hall every Thursday. Because it was Old Time Music Hall, you got a few local old people coming in, but because it was Dockyard Doris, you got a load of queens coming in. And it was beautifully mixed, because the rest of the week And especially on Sunday lunchtime, you'd have this wonderful mixture because we all had the East End in common. We might have been gay, we might have been grandmothers, we might have been grandfathers, but we all loved the pub and we all enjoyed ourselves and we all talked to everybody in it.
This was at Hackney, was it?
In Hackney Road, it was in a street called Coat Street, which runs parallel with Hackney Road, just behind the Children's Hospital, as it was then. And as it was then, the staff of the hospital used to come in as well. They were there quite frequently. And that was the last mixed pub I can remember. Of course, there's still the gay scene. The big one is the White Swan, and always will be. It's been going for years. It's even older than me. But other places have come and gone. There's the Black Horse in Mile End Road, that's gone. Benji's, which was brilliant in its time, that changed hands and they got a bit too clever and eventually got closed down. That's on the corner of, you know, Benji's. What else was there?
Why do you think, what do you mean by too clever?
They tried to get too many different, how can I put it nicely? They got a lot of people's gunslinging in there. They had people with guns and not on the gay nights. They only had gay night Sunday, but the rest of the week, especially Saturday night, and I think eventually somebody got murdered, and that was the end of Benji's. Nothing to do with the gay scene. That was probably the best night there for the least trouble. But there was another place called the George something in Poplar, in a street called Ida Street. That spawned a lot of the gay acts at one time, but I never went there because it was just that bit off the beaten track.
So what was the beaten track?
Well, for me personally, just the square mile of, you know, here, or the West End.
But is it because you've always lived here, that's why it's...
Yeah. Yeah, because even when I was at school, one of my aunts lived up at Mile End, and my mother said, oh, she lives in the country. And, you know, where does your auntie live? She's in the country. Mile End, it's, you know, and it was just sort of, because everything you wanted was there. You didn't have to sort of travel to do any shopping like you do now. But, yeah, but what other gay pubs were there? Of course, there's still what's that one up at Stratford? There's one up at Stratford still, isn't there? I can't remember what it's called. But, oh, there used to be a lovely club called Selina's in Leytonstone High Street. That was a nice club which belonged to a queen called Sadie, I think her name was. And again, even though I used to go to, I didn't go that often because I was working so much. I never got much chance to go around them. But I did visit them occasionally, so there was Selina's. And, oh, the Bull and Pump was a big one in Shoreditch. That's still there. I think it's called the Rainbow Bar. But that was a brilliant place, and every Sunday afternoon they did drag. Yeah, it was really good, that. But now it's in trendy Shoreditch. And with cross-dressers and arty-farty people. What other pubs? Oh, the Jew Dragon. That was a big one it was in the middle of the back streets of Hackney, somewhere where Tesco's is now, somewhere back of Morning Lane. The Jew Dragon, that used to get a lot of the gay scene. Again, I remember seeing people like Gay Travers and Paula doing their shows in there. And these people worked right up until in their 80s. It didn't seem... I suppose when you're in drag, it doesn't really matter. You know, you sort of... but as I say, unfortunately, Ron Storm, who used to run the drag balls, and eventually that one at the George in Commercial Road, because I sort of got diverted from that subject, but when he started doing Commercial Road. Again, it was really good. But when he died, it all went sort of pear-shaped. And the only thing now that's any remotely like it is The Way Out, which isn't so much glamorous queens as trannies. But Ron always used to get the glamour there, all the West End glamour. I think they still get a bit of glamour after about 2 o'clock in the morning when the West End crowd come to The Way Out, then it gets a bit more glamorous. But in general, it's not as glamorous as Ron's used to be. So, because I could show you pictures, but of course you're worried about the copyright now, aren't you?
I think there's in a book that's your own.
Yeah, well, as I say, that one definitely is all right. This one's more recent. But everybody in this one, almost everybody in it, if they're not dead, they're dying. So here we are, there's another bit here. There we are. There weren't many venues in those days, and there weren't many drag entertainers either. 1 or 2 places, but most of the pubs which had drag were in the East End. These pubs had traditionally had singers and comedians, and I think they just thought of drag as a change. It was very popular in a certain few places. I was very lucky because I started drag at the Bridge House in Canning Town in 1956, stayed there for 4 years, then went on to the City Arms in Millwall for 9 years. The pubs were straight, but in these places where the landlord didn't mind, there was usually a sprinkling of gays. As time went on, 1 or 2 clubs in the West End started doing it. And it's funny because then it goes on about the 50 Club, which wasn't there in the 50s.
Oh, what?
No, because it didn't get open till I think the 80s. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? Who's written that bit? Oh, Laurie Lee. Laurie Lee, the picture that I showed you. Oh, and of course, these are very much East End drag queens. Bluebell and, what the other one's name is, Bluebell and, where's Bluebell? She was in the Merchant Navy. You see, I thought, if you could have copied all these little bits and pieces. Oh, Bluebell and Susie. I don't know if you can get away with that picture, because they're both dead. And the person who done the book is dead. So, but, because they were typical East End merchant sailors and then came out, because they did very well in the Merchant Navy. It was the thing. But, yeah, you'd like this book. Laurie Lee first joined up in 1960, so he wasn't even in the war. But they were all in the merchant service. But, no, as I say, if you could have got hold of a copy of this, you can't really copy it all. It's probably out of print. Yeah, that's Gay Men's Press. They might probably have to go on. I don't know where you'd get it.
Okay.
I just think you got more than that. Good God.